You're tired of working day in and day out, trying to find new boomer customers, chasing leads, doing whatever work comes your way, and never getting to earn what you're worth. You do it because you love the work and you're passionate about serving the boomers. We get it. What you need is more of the right boomer customers for your business and more income for you and your family so you can grow your company and help more people in your community. Well, you're in the right place because this is Booming Your Bottom Line.
Hi, and welcome to episode 43 of Booming Your Bottom Line. I'm Mark Hager, and with me is my co-host, Aaron Murphy. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Mark. Good morning. Hey, listen, we're going to start out this week's episode with a quick apology. We told you last week that starting with this episode, we're going to begin to do some interviews with small business owners, serving boomers, and other industry professionals. We're all set to do that. We still are, but we need to set it aside for a minute. There was something much more pressing that we needed to address that's come to the forefront of our attention in the past week. We've been hearing this for years, but this week was a bit of a proverbial final straw, and we needed to get this addressed, okay? Mark and I have had some discussions around an issue we've been hearing about the last few weeks, and we couldn't let go of it this time, so we thought we'd just get it out in the open and hopefully shed some light on the matter, since a solution has a major profit implication for your small business. And that's exactly why we're here for you at BYBL. So let me tell you, this episode is gold, okay? If this applies to you and you're willing to have your boat rocked and actually ingest and then implement this information today, this one thing could literally change your financial future. I'm not just saying that because I want you to listen. I'm saying it because we're about to share with you something that if you act on it, could take you from just getting by to flying high financially and having a company and an income you always dreamed of when you went into business for yourself.
So the title of this week's show is Playing Nice. Sharing the Sandbox is the key to profits. We tell it to you straight here. You know that by now. And this episode is going to ruffle some feathers for y'all. But honestly, we don't really care. We have to talk about this because as you'll see, there are two big issues at stake here that require we discuss it. And those two issues are the growth of your business and the boomers in your community getting the level and quality of service they need, both now and in the future. And that's our foundation here at Booming Your Bottom Line. And it's why we need to share the tough stuff, not just the flowery BS others are willing to share. It's what sets us apart. So let's get into it.
That's fair. Okay. Let's start by defining sharing the sandbox. We simply mean getting along with others. Mark and I have identified something massively wrong and crippling in this niche market. And we want to talk about it openly and honestly. More importantly, we want to make sure you fully understand the implications it can have for your business and the lives of the people you serve, for better or worse, depending on if you're willing to fix it. So, what we're doing here today is what we always do. We're going to show you a major truth, in this case, one no one really wants to talk about or admit. And then we're going to direct you the best way we know how so you can adjust, monetize, and capitalize on it. So first, Mark, let's share the background. What led us to talk about this today?
Sure. So as many of you know, I've been working with boomer consumers and small businesses that serve them for more than a decade. And in that time, I've run across a lot of interesting things. One of those things, something that perked my ears up from the first time I heard it and has continued to intrigue me, is the relationship between remodelers or contractors and occupational therapists. Now, over the years, I've had many remodelers say that they don't understand why they need an OT, or that they had a problem with working with one, or had even had trouble finding one that was willing to work with them. And to be fair, that absolutely goes both ways. As far as the feedback that I've received, I've heard from OTs that are, had felt distrust with remodelers, that there were issues working with them, or they couldn't find a remodeler that valued having an OT involved in the remodeling projects they had going on for boomers. And the reason that this is a subject today is because I just had this conversation with a remodeler and an occupational therapist in the last week. I was talking to Aaron about it, and he brought up several situations or conversations that he's been in where the same type of issues were present. Times in the last few years where he has heard about or been party to situations where something like this was occurring, and not just between general contractors and occupational therapists, but other professions as well. And he was personally in a situation like this in the past year as an architect that was called in to consult on a project for an OT around home modifications for a gentleman that had lost, half of his arm and half of a leg due to a job site electrocution.
Right. Yep. I was consulted. I brought value on site. Look, we're not going to get into the he said, she said here today. Instead, I just want to tell you this point blank. If this attitude is present in your practice or your company, you need to knock it off now, because there's a much bigger thing at play here than this idea of, oh, don't play on my court, or I bring more to the table than you do, or I don't really know why I need you, or if I could trust you. It's so much bigger than that, you guys. It's bigger than the success of one person or company. It's about your business thriving and about your customers getting the absolute best that you can give them. And that isn't you as in your particular business. That's you, the small business owners, plural, in your community, stepping up and taking your place in the bigger picture, the totality of a local network of care. So here's the meat, of today. It's not just about, we'll call remodelers GCs just so this moves quicker. It's not just about GCs and OTs. That's just a recent example and one we've heard more than once. But the idea we're talking about today is how you can really leverage your relationships with other small business owners, your professional network, how you as a group of business owners can do incredible good for your collective customers and reap amazing profits from that effort. Now, we did an episode in our podcast a little while back called Turning $600 Remodeling Projects into $60,000 ones. In it, we talked about how you could increase your revenue and actually do fewer but better and higher profit projects just by bringing more to the table than an estimate for a single lower profit solution. If you haven't heard that, go back and check that out at bybllive.com. Well, what we're talking about today is that, but we want to talk about a way to put that in overdrive, okay? A team approach allows you, together, the collective, to upsell a bigger vision of a happy life at home longer. Don't you see that? Okay, let's use the remodeler for an example here. Would you rather do 100 grab bar installations alone for $250 each, with all the paperwork, overhead, travel associated, totaling $25,000 a year? Or would you rather do 10 home bathroom and kitchen remodels per year with a team, where you share consulting costs and profits on a $50,000 project? And if half of that, that's $250,000 a year. I'm guessing you're going to choose the 10x better profitability model, right? Mm-hmm. See, when you hold hands as professionals versus saying, talk to the hand, right? Yeah. When you reach across the aisle, you'll create bigger projects for you both, and you're going to create a better project solution for your clients. There's more to this with regard to finding the right clients for the $50,000 project, not the $251. Can't get into all that today, but we do cover that at length in our high-end coaching program. But let's move on.
Right. So let's take that example of the general contractor and the OT and look at why this relationship is not only important to your boomer customers, but also to your business. First, if you get an experienced OT and GC working together, that's a formidable team. I mean, it really is. There's so much knowledge and skill and range of services there. It's really hard to beat from a consumer standpoint. I mean, sure, the customer doesn't immediately or inherently understand that value, but that doesn't mean it's not there. And that's where you educate. Then they get to see the benefit in the results of the project. Yes, there's overlap in knowledge. We're all well aware of that. But there's also a lot that one or the other doesn't know about. What an OT, GC, and designer, architect all bring to the table do have overlap. But you need to focus on the differences and the value add propositions of where they don't overlap. An OT understands the patient, the specs on the medical equipment, how each client uses them, interacts with them, their personal ergonomics, range of motion, strengths and weaknesses in their own bodies around a specific situation or illness or ability change, say Parkinson's, for example. The designer understands the building codes, the design layout and planning, spatial problem solving, home product specifications, colors, materials, hardware, lighting, aesthetics, and yes, we even overlap with the interior designers here and can do some of the other person's job here as well. And trust me, we get it. And the GC has a wealth of knowledge around the means and the methods of construction. What you can expect to find behind the walls and how that can affect the project solutions and, importantly, the costs, as well as how the goals can be accomplished with a different approach in the field during the project that can save money, save time, etc. It all adds value.
Right, absolutely. So let's look for a minute at what some of the problems are that might be there in this misunderstood GCOT relationship currently that need addressing. And then you need to internally process, accept, and finally overcome this issue and reach across the aisle, per se, for the profitability of your business and the best results for your clients, which means referrals too, guys. Mm-hmm. It could be the remodeler's understanding of what an OT brings to the table, or the OT's understanding of what a remodeler brings to the table. Might have problems defining what the relationship is or how to navigate it, or maybe you've had bad experiences in the past. These issues are keeping these two business owners from really being able to leverage the relationship so everyone wins. The OT, the remodeler, and most importantly, the boomer customer. So let me enlighten you as to what you're missing. There are 3 things I think you're missing out on right now as you are pouting in your corner about missing out on work because you can't play nice in that proverbial sandbox. And your ego is getting in the way of your profits. Number 1, project quality. The solution you could provide your clients is better when you bring a team into consideration for a situation. Think about what you could do if you had all at one table the following people to help your boomer and their family. What if you had this big dining room table with an architect, a contractor, a remodeler, an occupational therapist, a geriatric care manager, a financial planner, an elder law attorney? Dream team, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do overlap in areas, but if you could coordinate and then divide and conquer, what a high-level, big-picture upgrade to the living situation you could create to these folks all across the U.S. They're going to need your help navigating all of these new situations and challenges that face us as a nation. We have a new third of longevity increase in life with medical and technological advance. Just think about that for a second. Now, even if it's just the GC and the OT, can you still now see the leverage in working together? Gosh, I hope you can at this point in the conversation. Okay, number 2 is highly customized solutions. When you can give this level of overarching quality and solutions that are specific to every part of a boomer's life, from ergonomics to aesthetic preference to financial considerations and budget for a home modification project, wow. Team is so much better for a fully customized and therefore higher end solution for your clients, their lives, their happiness. Guys, this is what can set you apart from your competition. Allow you over time to start to be able to pick your clients, pick your projects that you want to work on versus chasing every small job. And as a result, number 3 is profits. When you can do this right and get your ego out of the way to work together, you're going to find that you're working with higher end clients due to the opportunities that networking with other professionals can bring you. More lucrative projects, less overhead and paperwork with fewer but better jobs to manage. You're going to be running less, making more, and creating more happy clients and referrals. It's all on the way. Win, 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 right, Mark?
Yes, absolutely, and those are great points, Aaron. And and this is just one example, the GCOT combo of a professional relationship that you should consider. Aaron mentioned that dream team. There's lots of opportunities there. And there are many other relationships you should build over time, with your local care community. But for OTs and remodelers, this is an important one to start with. And that's why we address this one specifically today first. So what do you think? Do you think we're off base here? We don't think so. We think this is a gold mine of missed opportunity, and I know Aaron is 100% with me on that. But we'd love to hear your take on what we've talked about today. Regardless, we think that building out your professional network is so important that we've decided to do a brand new free training about it. So listen up. In 8 days, on October 21st, we're going to be doing a free training to teach you about building these professional relationships, what the benefits are, tips to finding the right people, how to maximize the revenue they generate, and much, much more. So right now, I want you to go to bybllive.com/pro-network. It's PRONETWORK. Sign up early because we're only going to offer it for a limited number of attendees. And I'm going to tell you now that you want to be one of the owners attending this because you need it to be you and your business, not your local competitor. And I'm just being honest. This can have such far-reaching implications for your company and your income that you need to be the one doing this before anyone else gets it into place. And again, that's bybllive.com/pro-network to sign up for this free training.
I'm stoked about that. Okay, folks, I hope you see the massive value in our discussion today. What you can do to implement change in your business that can make a major difference in your company, your profits, your future, and your legacy to the world through your own small business. Thanks for listening today. Until next time, be well, be bold, and boom your bottom line.